Can you please tweet and use the hashtag? We really need to get this trending. I also want to start by thanking the organisers, the TEDx guys, and and all the speakers. It's not easy being up here to speak, so I don't know if you just give us a round of applause. Does August the 6th, 2011 ring any bells to anyone? Yes. Yes? What happened? What happened? Does anyone remember what happened? Yeah, it's my birthday. Oh, fantastic. Happy birthday. Happy belated. Okay, so August the 6th, 2011 represents a very significant day for myself. I was at my parents' house off West Green Road, and I got a phone call from one of my friends, and he said, a car is burning on the high road. I was like, really? What's going on? After his phone call, I get a text message. What's happening in Tottenham, Franklin? Or Fab's Network, which is my Twitter profile. You can follow me. Thank you. And I was like, what's going on? Then it started to multiply. People messaging me, what's happening in Tottenham, etc., etc. I think the first, people were saying to me, because I have quite a large following, you've got to do something. You've got to tell people what's going on. No one's responding. Everyone's just reporting nonsense. So I took to Twitter, and I think the first tweet I posted out was, I think there's going to be a riot. I then tweeted and started the Tottenham riots hashtag, and was tweeting a lot about what was actually happening, because I had people present at the time telling me what was going on before the news outlets were starting to report. And when the news outlets started to report, they were reporting the wrong thing. So me being who I was, I started adding them into my tweets and starting to report everything that was going on. And then people were messaging me on Twitter saying, Fabs, Franklin, have you seen the news? They're telling people what you're tweeting about. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Social media is crazy. So again, I kept on tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. My tweets were picked up by the BBC. The BBC then got in contact with me, and they said they wanted to interview me. They came down to my offices, which is right here in Boateng Grant, at the back. And they interviewed me for 4 hours. And they only used 40 seconds. Gutted. But I was shown on all the news networks by over millions and millions of people at the time. But one thing that resonated with me during the time they interviewed me was Twitter was the cause of these riots, or social media was the cause of these riots, or BlackBerry Messenger was the cause of these riots. The youth are just so disengaged. They just use Twitter to kind of disrupt and cause violence. It kind of stuck with me, and I'll give you a few statistics about the riots. There was over 2.6 million tweets during the riots. Out of all those tweets, there was maybe half that was, inciting the riots, but what they were doing was giving support to the rioters for the disengagement that society has with our local community, Tottenham. And out of all of those tweets, not one conviction was made. So it couldn't be social media. It could be the people behind social media, it could be the young people, but it couldn't be social media. That's my personal opinion. But you had MPs tweeting at the time and saying, oh, Twitter should be shut down, and Facebook needs to monitor what they say, and BlackBerry Messenger needs to have a restraint on it, and the kids they just need to shut up. But who do you blame? You can't blame a young child who doesn't really know what they're doing or what they're saying. I think I forgot my clicker. What they're doing or what they're saying. And you can't really shut down things like Twitter. They're just giving a voice for the organization. Oh, thank you, sorry. It would have been me. Okay, yeah, this is the Twitter wall, sorry. I'll just cut for a second. This is the Twitter wall, so all your tweets will appear over there. So, who do you blame? I start by blaming ourselves. Social media is so powerful that it can affect your future. I'll give you a story of a young lady who used Twitter. She became a police commissioner. You might have seen it in the news. And she was like a very prestigious job. She was 17, and she tweeted, she was 3 years prior, when she was 14, about something to do with pikeys. I know it was wrong, but who hasn't said wrong things in their time? Put up your hand. I'm perfect. But a journalist picked up on a tweet that was said a couple years prior, and they just destroyed her. They said that she has to resign from her post. I mean, this girl is 17. She said something when she was 14. They said that she had to resign from her post. She had to apologize for what she said, and give a public apology. Imagine giving a public apology and you're only 17 for saying something when you were 14. But she's not to blame. She's not to blame. You also have cases of unfortunate cyberbullying, and one of the websites that is mentioned a lot is Ask FM, and unfortunately a few young people have committed suicide via cyberbullying, and the statistics of cyberbullying are 1 in 3 young adults under 18 have experienced cyberbullying. It is a very, very, very big problem that we have in today's society. And again, people are, saying we have to shut down these websites, we have to tell these young people to stop. So beneath the surface, we have a big disengagement with, like the media has with young people in social media. Because social media moves so fast, it is really, really hard to control. And it's really hard to have a harness on what is said and what is not said. So here's my big idea. Social media for schools. What I aim to do, and I hope you guys can evangelate the message, is to have a training session for young people about social media for schools. I have set up a session where we teach young people from 12 to 18 something called the social media circle, which everything you say out there comes back to you. What our session aims to do is to teach young adults, not only young adults, teachers, parents, governors of schools, how to use social media to harness things in society. The right things to say, the wrong things not to say, and to really get children to understand that whatever they put out there is damaging and could affect their future. I done a pilot of something I call social media for schools. Sorry, social media for employment. I apologize. And I done it at Tottenham Job Centre. And it was a session I ran it for 6 weeks. It was a pilot session. And it was to help unemployed young people. Those were the people who mainly attended. All the people older was like, social media isn't for me, which it is, it's for everyone. And it was designed to teach them about how to use social media to get employment, Because a lot of people see social media as just, oh, we're going to say random things and into the air and that sort of stuff. But social media is a lot more powerful than that. It can get you your next job. And you have people like me. I am a social media manager. I also get told by companies to write social media profiles on people. And that's how powerful it is. That now companies are not looking on your CVs. They're looking at your social media profile. And they're looking at what you tweet. So be careful, You have to really be careful what you put out there into the atmosphere. So again, my big idea is social media for schools. What I aim to do is to go into schools, not just within the local area of Tottenham, but all over the country, and train other trainers like myself to teach social media, hopefully as part of the curriculum. where kids can then begin to engage with something that is more powerful than they understand. And I think the problem we have with the way media frown upon children who say these things on social media is we all don't understand it. So once we have a better understanding, we can create a better future. That has been my talk. I know I was supposed to talk longer. I want to dedicate my talk to my son. He's 3 weeks old. And before I go, can I take a TEDx selfie? Yeah. Okay, I need your help with this, guys. So after 3, give me a second. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my phone working. Okay, after 3, I just need to say TEDx. Put your hands in the air or something, please. Thank you very much.